Hi, happy Pride from the Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus. We're so thankful for you, our fans and our supporters. And right now we would normally be giving you a really fabulous Pride concert. But because of COVID-19, we're not allowed to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you an equally fabulous virtual Pride event. We're calling it Walk With Me. So in addition to hearing the chorus sing amazing songs, we're going to share some really powerful stories with you about who we are as an LGBTQ+ community. On behalf of the Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus, please enjoy Walk With Me.
December 27th, 1970, there was a TV show on TV. It was a very special episode, as they had in those days. And it was a show I'd watched, but they wanted to hide this episode. So they had parental consent type things, and they put it on 2 days after Christmas to make sure no one saw it. But I saw it, and there was a character who nobody had heard of, a friend of one of the main characters who came back from college and was caught in a happy bar. There was so much drama about him being in a happy bar, and I just couldn't understand what this whole show was about until one of the characters had to mansplain to another character what gay was. And it was sort of like a scene from Sixth Sense where it all came together. I started getting these visuals in my own head of the past 3 years, and it made sense. I was 11 years old at the time. And I can remember back in 4th grade incidences that made me realize I was gay. But having no clue what gay was, I didn't have a box to put it in. December 27th, I got that box. So I spent 2 weeks trying to figure out how to change it. Spent another week trying to figure out what's the best way to kill yourself. And then I think by February, I was pretty much over, and I came upon the decision to hide it forever. And I was pretty good at it for 8 years. I told no one. And when I was 19, I found a gay youth group that actually, quite frankly, saved my life. I'm so envious of the kids today who just come out at 6 years old and tell their truth. And parents are, okay. I went through this whole concept where I was going to tell all my family members one at a time. I told one, and that was emotionally exhausting. I told the second one, that was emotionally exhausting. So then I just told them to tell each other and just get it over with. So when my mother found out, she just found out, figured it out, and we didn't really talk about it. But I remember thinking when my father passed away that, whew, I dodged that bullet. So instead of feeling grief over his death, I was sort of feeling a little bit more relief. And that has made me feel guilty for years. Just thinking that I dodged a bullet and he never had to find out. I wasted a lot of my teen years trying to fit in, trying to make sure that no one suspected that I was gay. When in reality, people were suspecting I was gay anyway, but trying not to confirm it for them, basically. I had hidden crushes in high school I couldn't tell anybody about. It was just a lonely, lonely, lonely time. And if I could go back and tell myself anything, I'm not sure I would have told myself to come out as a teenager. Not in those times, but I would have told myself to just relax and that life gets better. You just have to build up the strength to know who you are and to know what you're capable of and trust in yourself and trust the people around you. So I'm not sure what I would do differently or what I tell myself to do differently, but I would tell myself definitely to not worry so much.
You with the sad eyes, discouraged. Don't you realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people? You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside you can make you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let it show. Your true colors, true colors are beautiful like a rainbow. Just smile. Don't be afraid. Can't remember when I saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, just call me up, 'cause you know I'll be there. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let it show. Your true colors, true. True colors, 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 I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let it show. Your true colors, true colors are beautiful like a rainbow. True colors,
I knew I was gay when I was 8 years old, sitting in my parents' living room looking out the piano window.
I pretty much always knew I was always interested in boys and not girls.
Probably when I was 5. I mean, I knew I was different. My mom even says that as she watched me, she knew too.
The first person I told was a coworker that lives in Chicago who is also gay, and I knew it would be safe to come out to him.
It was my best friend in high school who also happened to come out to me afterwards.
It was 1983, January 25th. I was 21 years old, and I told my girlfriend. I loved her dearly, but there was just no way.
The thing I was most afraid of when I was coming out was how everyone would react. I come from a very conservative family, so I was terrified.
Literally, I was afraid for my life because I grew up in a very small rural town. And I was also afraid I'd be disowned by my family, who was Catholic.
Literally, I was afraid I was going to go to hell.
I would tell my younger self to come out a lot earlier than 45 years old.
Come out earlier. It was such a burden off your psyche. You feel so much more free and better now. It's worth it.
I would tell him not to be so uptight and to quit playing their game. To just be himself and to enjoy life.
I never really, I never had a conscious moment of knowing I was gay. For some of us, being gay was never like it was a Monday and then it was a Tuesday. It was just like a long Monday, being gay. And until someone tells you, that's when you find out you're gay. Someone tells you, and they don't tell you in a loving way. They let you know, and they let you know in a disapproving way or in some matter or, some shitty way humans can be shitty to each other under the guise of I love you or the good book or whatever. That's how it became known to me that I was gay. we don't get to hang out a lot outside of bars. And I think bars are great and important, but it is just hard to have people come over, to hang out with people and, or to meet people, in a non-sexual way. And the chorus provides a great way to get to know oneself better, honestly. This chorus is home, It is a base of, to push off from in many ways. Whether you are performing every CPP or you're not singing but you're volunteering, it is still your base of home. You want to know what's going on with the chorus, even though you're not necessarily a part of the chorus. And you definitely want to see a concert, and you definitely want to see a Christmas concert, because it is a great way to fill up that Christmas cup that is always on empty. We're always running on E, and your cup overflows with a sense of love and joy and emotion that comes from all these people that you see every day, doing all the jobs we do on stage, knocking it out, basically. How do you not love that? That's what the chorus really, really is. It is it's a home run, it really is.
I'm going to have to steal a line from one of our previous conductors, Dr. Stan Hill. Oh, honey, I was redecorating the womb. I think I've always known, and I really have never had a problem with accepting myself. We've all had, our ups and downs. During the AIDS crisis, the phone rang one night, and I just said, "You answer it. I don't want to know anybody else has died. There's been 4 this week." So I think that was one of the hardest times, is going through the AIDS crisis. And now we've got COVID. So a lot of the COVID has taken me back to the 80s, when we were in the height of the AIDS crisis. When Gala 2 was held in Minneapolis, and it was 17 choruses at Orchestra Hall, I had purchased a seat at a table from a friend of mine, and on the final night, when all 17 choruses were on stage, and Philip Burnell conducted Randall Thompson's Testament to Freedom, I knew right then and there that I had to be in the chorus, whatever it took for me. It's been a major part of my life. Through my several jobs at different places that I've had over the years, Tuesday has always been sacrosanct. You don't book me for anything on Tuesday nights, because I have rehearsal. Since we have been on lockdown, I miss it more than words can say, and long for the day when we're all back together doing what we do best, and that's making beautiful music.
And the people stay home. And read books and listened and rested. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to
I grew up in a Catholic, very religious family, and one of my family members, one of my uncles, we learned that he was gay when I was maybe like 10 or 12 years old, and I saw him mistreated by my family and by the church in such a way that it totally broke my heart. And I think that experience really changed me And so when I got to college, I got a bachelor's degree in sociology with a concentration in GLBT studies, and then I went on to get my master's degree in sociology and sexuality and gender studies. And so I was really able to educate myself about the issues, and the more that I read and the more that I learned, the more it was really impressed upon my heart that this is work that I need to be a part of. I guess what comes to mind when I think about misconceptions that people have is that it still matters. Equality for GLBTQ+ people is still something that matters. I think a lot of people think that the fight is over because we have gay marriage, and it's not. GLBT people's lives are still being impacted in really big ways, either because health insurance isn't covering people's drugs in the way that they need to, or that people are being, like trans people are being discriminated against in the healthcare system. So the work's not done yet, and we need to keep working. I think in order to be a really strong and effective ally, a person needs to have a commitment to educating themselves about the issues surrounding the GLBTQ+ community. One thing that I've had to learn is to be a little bit humble and not assume that just because I have these feelings in my heart that I really know how to express them, or to talk to people in a way that's always correct or respectful. I screw up all the time on this stuff. I think I screw up more often than I say or do the right thing, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being wrong, because that gives us a chance to be lovingly corrected by someone and to have a learning opportunity. And that's why I'm just so grateful to be a part of this organization that gives me a place to continue doing the work that is so important to me, but that's also a safe place to continue learning. Because the learning's not over, and we all need to keep educating ourselves about these issues, both in and outside of the community. I say this all the time, but it's really true. I just really, really love the chorus, its mission and its work, and just so grateful for all the people that continue to support this organization.
My name is Glenn. I use they, them pronouns, and I've been with TCGMC for 4 years now. Oh, actually, I think this is my 5th year. Yeah, it's been a while. The journey of the self-discovery has been quite the roller coaster, to be frank. I think I saw this beautiful boy in like 4th grade, and I was like, oh my God, what is that? And it's just kind of been gone since then. I like to do fun things with my hair, colors. The clothes that I wear have changed a bunch, and just kind of the things that we think are standardly feminine, I find very interesting, which is not to say you can't as a male, but I realize that that doesn't really encompass how I see myself anymore. I am still gay, but I identify as gender non-conforming. The way I look today may not be the way I look tomorrow, and that's just kind of what it is right now. I think a lot of the struggle or the confusion with identity is from other people. So people look at me and I have a beard, so they automatically assume I'm a sir, or I'm tall, so they automatically assume that I play basketball, or just like literally anything. And I feel like that pigeonholes a person and doesn't allow them to actually be whatever it is they might want to be. It requires patience on all parts. So patience on my part to allow someone else that space to wrap their heads around something maybe they're not familiar with, they haven't experienced before, or met somebody who was outwardly identified like that. But it also takes patience on their part to give themselves that space, but to also still allow me to exist in the ways that I need to exist to feel comfortable within the world. My RA in college was a part of the chorus previously, and he mentioned it once. Never seen a concert before. I went and auditioned, and I got in. I was like, all right, cool, this is it, we're in. It's a dynamic place. There are lots of different kinds of people. The age ranges are changing and growing, which I think is very cool from when I started in the chorus in 2015. But you'll meet people from all walks of life, people who are dealing with mental health issues, or we have a sober community. Just there's someone for everyone in the chorus. And I think knowing that allowed me to be more comfortable and be more open. And I think sometimes it seems difficult to do that in a space of gay men who sometimes are known as like judgmental and all that stuff. But It's been really supportive, and even when I was like, okay, this is actually what I want to do, I'm changing my pronouns, this is comfortable, this is what I want to do, I had nothing but support, and a lot of it was from fellow chorus members, so that was really cool.
There are many ways in which the Black Lives Matter movement and the LGBTQ+ community intersect. Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus wants our audience to know that we see people of color, we specifically see Black people, and we stand with them. The following selection talks about Black gay men and how many in the LGBTQ+ community, especially other white gay men, assume that because a gay man is Black that he must be HIV positive. This is Why I'm Here by Michael R. Jackson.
I came here to talk about Black queer men who HIV/AIDS has shattered. I came here to talk about Black queer men whose lives haven't always mattered. 'Cause I got word a friend of mine had died, which sent up red flags and set off alarm bells inside. 'Cause he's not the face that's been painted for me by Truvada campaigns or by the CDC. I came here to talk about Black queer men who lack proper health resources. I came here to talk about Black queer men who face such oppressive forces. But I'm still sad AIDS took away my friend and brought him to such a quick, untimely end. And so many folks are shaken to their core. They keep blaming themselves and wishing that they'd done more. It was a shock. He had the means. And 'cause nobody dies from AIDS in 2017, and he was talented, and he was smart, and he was generous and had a giant heart, and he was known, and he was loved, with a legacy that's sure to be preserved. And he was special, and he could write. And because it must be said, 'cause he was white. I came here to talk about Black queer men like me. 'Cause all the statistics say I should have HIV. But even in my pro-Blackness, I shed a tear because of a white man who is no longer here. Is that empathy or white supremacy? I don't know. But the inconsistency and inequality has to go. All lives matter, all lives are precious, all lives are dear. Yes, all lives matter, but all lives aren't. Why I'm here.
I'm John Stiles. I've been a member of the Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus for 11 amazing years. TCGMC was born nearly 40 years ago in 1981. 1981 was also the year that an article appeared in the New York Times with the headline, "Rare Cancer Seen in 41 Homosexuals." And that's right, TCGMC was born with the AIDS epidemic. That was a time of near total indifference to and outright hostility toward the lives, suffering, and deaths of gay men. 40 years ago, it felt like our lives didn't matter. So as gay men, we organized, we spoke up, we acted up, we sang out. 40 years later, TCGMC is still here. We know something about how to survive a pandemic and come out stronger on the other side. Now today, TCGMC, like the rest of America, is confronting two other viruses. The first one is new, COVID-19. Some of our fellow singers have lost family members and loved ones to the virus. We grieve with them and with everyone who has lost a loved one at this time. COVID-19 is taking a toll on LGBT choruses around the country. Some of our brother and sister choruses have just decided to go dark until they can perform safely in person again. We at Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus have made another choice, the choice to keep singing and performing. Both because we can't imagine doing it any other way, and because we believe that, especially now, we have a contribution to make. So we're making new music in new ways, like you're experiencing here tonight, and we're exploring how to keep doing so creatively at this time to meet the community's needs in this moment. It's a challenge, technologically and financially, but we're not going to let COVID-19 keep us from living out our mission. The other virus we're dealing with is an old one, racism. The death of George Floyd in our city of Minneapolis shocked us and shocked the world. It's challenged us as an organization, as singers, and as human beings. We're a majority white organization with majority white audiences, and we can't stay silent. Since before the death of George Floyd, we've been challenging ourselves to lift up Black lives and sing about how they matter. We as an organization have more to do to lift up the voices and the song and the lives of Black and brown folks, especially queer ones. And we're holding ourselves accountable internally and externally to doing it. There's no going back on this for us. In this time of these two viruses, these two public health crises, COVID-19 and racism, we at TCGMC have a lot more to contribute, especially at this time when in our DNA we know something about what it feels like to feel like your life doesn't matter. I'm asking you to help us keep doing that work. If you've ever heard us perform before and you've left feeling touched, moved, or inspired, please help us keep doing that, now more than ever. If you've ever had a friend who's sung with TCGMC and you've seen how the chorus has changed their lives, please help us keep doing that. Or if you're hearing us for the first time tonight, which is great, and something that we have sung has opened your heart in some way, please help us keep doing that, now more than ever. Please enjoy the rest of this virtual Pride concert. Thank you.
joy.